Welcome to Do It Now, a platform for you to learn from those that have already done it. Do it now.
Hello, and welcome back to Do It Now. In this video I'd like to go through some of my own work history and current career, as well as what has led to the creation of the Do It Now podcast and how the channel is progressing so far. Back now, roughly 16 years ago, I began my working career as an apprentice bricklayer at the age of 16, fresh out of school. I served my time learning my trade and many other aspects of construction with a small, well-established family-run business in Ayrshire, who I'll always be grateful for taking me on and passing on a little of their 100-year-plus construction knowledge. I guess given the nature of the Do It Now podcast, it's important to explain how I landed my apprenticeship. It was simple really. I got out the yellow pages, I phoned every local construction company asking if they were looking to take on anyone on an apprenticeship basis until I got the answer I was looking for. 2 companies phoned back, one a heating engineering company, another a bricklaying company. Being an idiot, I chose to be a bricklayer. It's maybe important to point out that during school, in all my teen years, I was probably, let's say, a bit of a bampot. Been flung out of 2 schools, and if I'm honest, I'm probably still a bit of a bampot today. But thankfully, my parents instilled a strong work ethic in me, it's led me out of a lot of trouble. Working with my first company, learning my trade and being a bampot for close to a decade, it had to come to an end, and I moved on finding a couple of short-term jobs within construction until I landed what I'm currently doing just now, construction site management. I landed this position through going for temporary work for 2 weeks as a site labourer, then through the right attitude, the willingness and the want to learn, and maybe a little bit of luck meeting the right people, I was offered to be took on board with the company and trained to be a site supervisor, and then if I wanted it enough, a site manager, project manager and onwards. Through effort, listening in and 5 years of dedication, I was eventually given a small project to look after and run myself as site manager. My first project was valued at roughly £300,000, which in my estimation isn't small, but this was a new world I was walking into, and site managers with any ambition, I was told, aim for projects upwards of £1 million. To this day I've currently delivered 15 projects ranging in value from £300,000 to £1.2 million. I'm currently working on my largest project of value to date at £16 million after moving companies into a different sector of construction. Being lucky enough to be took on and trained with a main contractor has opened my eyes. It's opened my eyes to how I should value my time, my skills, my labour. It's opened my eyes to how investing in myself through investing in new skills ultimately takes time and most times costs financially. The payback in growth, gathering knowledge and my valuation of myself always pays and is worth it. So, a wee bit about Do It Now. Do It Now has been created with the aim to interview local, everyday business owners and professionals in their field, with a view to provide a platform for those looking to learn by hearing the stories of those that have already done it. Part of Scotland's culture I grew up in was obsessed by gangland stories and inspirations of being a drug-dealing gangster when they grow up, when in reality it's a mug's game, and the cultural aspirations leading to misspent youths and uninspired, uncreative minds. In reality, Scotland has a wealth of intellectual and business knowledge to share. It seems to me this knowledge may be only reaching certain proportions of the country, and that if we want to raise the attainment gap and the poverty gap, we should be looking to share as much business inside info and good work ethic stories with each other as possible. All going as planned, in the coming months, Do It Now will have numerous business owners, small and large, and different professionals on to interview to create a short, sharp, cut through the fat interview of how it's done. I created Do It Now in my mind during the pandemic of 2020. Officially though, Do It Now was created on the first day of 2021. After I sampled, downloaded and bought video editing software, NCH VideoPad. After that I used the internet to teach myself how to use the software, then researching online what gear it takes to set up a podcast. I have then bought a digital camcorder with tripod, a microphone and a boom arm to firstly test if I can work the equipment and the software by creating these very videos you are watching just now. So far so good. To be honest, I've impressed myself with how well I've picked up the video editing software, given my IT skills are very basic, although I'm 100% sure there's millions left to be learned, and to be honest, I'm looking forward to the process. My podcast inspirations have came from listening to the likes of Joe Rogan and James English. And I have to give a special shout out to Alex Kearney and his YouTube channel AC Coming Back to Life, where he is challenging the stigma of mental health and lending comfort, advice and strong words of action for anybody suffering. Watching one of Alex's uploads, there was a point when Alex said, "Whatever it is you're putting off, do it now." And I knew then that was a podcast name. Thanks Alex. I highly recommend visiting and subscribing to Alex's channel, AC Coming Back to Life, and hopefully Alex, being an owner of numerous businesses, will end up in the podcast one day. Before I can make strong movements towards approaching people and securing interviews, I still have some equipment to buy. 2 more camcorders and a microphone with boom arm. I believe I may need to buy some lighting as well to avoid having gloomy videos. Also, I believe it's important that I'm able to produce decent level quality videos in order to attract the business owners to a platform they would feel comfortable sharing their businesses on and their stories. All going well, I'm aiming to be creating the first Do It Now interviews ready to publish for February. I'll be looking to create and store 3 podcasts before publishing the first, keeping some in the bank as the channel goes on. If you've made it this far, thanks for listening. I hope you subscribe for the latest videos and come back to hear how the channel is progressing. I guess there's nothing left but now to
Do it now.